Hello there, how are you all doing? I hope you are all doing well. You may be wondering what this is on my forehead. This right here is the result of immense boredom and being stuck inside of my house for the last 11 months. So we're just gonna be dealing with this today. Anyway, hello, how are you all doing? I hope you are all doing well. I'm gonna be honest with you, I am bloody exhausted. I don't know why, I've always been fortunate with my sleep, but the last couple weeks in particular, I have been sleeping so badly. I either won't get to bed till 4 a.m. or I'll get to bed at a decent time and then wake up at 4 a.m. and then not get back to sleep for like 3 hours. I'm fine, I'm good, I'm just not sleeping that great. As a result, I was not able to do anything super woohoo great because I couldn't put on that exaggerated like peppy personality because I just want to sleep. Now today I'm actually going to be opening up an art box because this is my Art Snacks Plus box. This is my favorite art box of all time. It's actually the only art box that I am subscribed to anymore, the only one that I'm receiving. It's funny, Art Snacks was actually the very, very first art box I ever tried like 3 years ago because I remember seeing an Instagram ad for it. I've never, ever used an art subscription box before. And this is the Art Snacks box that arrived. This is what I'm most excited for because there's actual art supplies in here. And basically ever since, I've really loved them. This is the Art Snacks Plus box. This one is $40, but they have a smaller version that's a lot cheaper than that. And Art Snacks very, very kindly has sent this box to me. They've also given me a coupon code in the description down below if you would like to check it out for yourself and get some fun mystery art supplies in a box every single month to your door. artsnacks.co/Chloe for 10% off your first box, and you can use the coupon code Chloe, and trust me, you're gonna love it. If you want to try an art box, this is the one you're gonna want to try in my personal opinion. But yeah, today I'm gonna be opening this up, seeing what's inside, and after that I thought that I would obviously swatch each one. And because I am kind of in a state of just like being so done with the world right now, I'm so done, I just thought that hey, maybe some of you would like to see me answer some questions that maybe I've never answered before. Obviously this isn't of interest to everyone, but at the end of the video I'll be answering some questions that you all gave me on the community tab and my Instagram, answering questions about life, giving you some advice about art, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So if you could like this video, it would really, really help me out. Also subscribe if you're not already, because I upload every single Wednesday at 3 p.m. EST. So thank you so much to Art Snacks for sponsoring today's video, and also obviously providing that amazing discount for these wonderful boxes. Okay, so I did rip this open. I have not looked inside, but I did rip it open just for being prepared for once. Now inside Art Snacks boxes, we always have these envelopes filled with a bunch of different art supplies, which is always my favorite part. But first thing I'm seeing right here is a giant full-size sketchbook. This is by Legion. Eco-friendly, tree-free surface with a luxurious texture. It's eco-friendly, that's amazing. And you know, another thing I really love about Art Snacks boxes is they often will have exclusives in their boxes. For example, this paper in particular is actually an Art Snacks exclusive. Sometimes they have things like pencil sharpeners with the Art Snacks logo on it. They really, really go above and beyond to work with different art companies to get custom products for their boxes. They've actually just brought out a collaboration box with golden paint, and it's like a new matte paint they're doing, and it just looks so good. I need to buy that because it looks, I need it. 15 sheets, 200 and I can't read backwards, 65 GSM. I'm not sure if you can see the texture there, but it is beautiful paper. And it is tree-free, it's bamboo. This works for pen and ink, pastel, calligraphy, and printmaking. Made of 90% bamboo, 10% cotton, and made in the USA. Do you hear the thickness of that paper? Music to my ears. Next up, we have our little zippy pouch. As you can see, this is filled with all of the goodies inside of the box. Okay, this is very pretty. I don't know what it is, but it's very, look at the handle. It's very pretty. This, I actually cannot read a single thing. Look how nice that is. This is the back if you were able to read that. That's what it says. Okay, Kuretake Zig Bimoji Feud Pen. This customer favorite is making a comeback in brand new patterns. Imported all the way from Japan, this Kuretake Zig Bimoji Feud Pen was designed to imitate the aesthetic and weight of a traditional calligraphy brush. Next up in our little zip pouch, we have some touch liners, 5 assorted liners in cool grey. We have 0.1, 0.3, 0.5, C and B. These are pigment ink, water resistant, acid free, smear proof, water based, instant drying, xylene free and AP mark. So these would be good with watercolors and things like that because they are water resistant and wouldn't. My light just like changed its setting by itself. Is there a ghost? So basically you've got everything you need. You have like a chisel nib, you have a fine liner point nib, and you have like a brush pen as well. So you have pretty much everything that you're gonna need in this set. A little bit of information here, if you're not familiar with Art Snacks boxes, you get 2 menus. Now this menu right here is the smaller menu. This is for the cheaper Art Snacks box. Everything that is on this menu, i.e. the bamboo paper and the Kuretake Bimoji Feud pen, these are the 2 additional items you get if you buy the larger box. So together, this is what you get in the large box. This is what you'd get in the cheaper box. The smaller box is $24 a month, and the larger box, as you can see, is actually $39 a month. And they do ship out on the 29th of January. So if you would like to get the next month's box, then definitely sign up now while you can, because you can get 10% off. It's a great deal, I promise you. That's the snack part of the Art Snacks box. I feel like I'm about 5 again because I have a fringe and I've got a lollipop. Very good though. Next up in our little pouch, or should I say lastly in our little pouch, we have this. And this comes in the smaller Art Snacks boxes, and this is filled with different art supplies and pens and things like that. Sometimes you get paintbrushes, sometimes you get little watercolor paints. This box looks like it's mostly a pen set, so we're probably gonna get more pens. It's like Christmas. Okay, inside we have some good, look at all these goodies. Okay, we got our sticker. You always get a little vinyl sticker with a different pattern each month. And I always feel like these boxes are so high quality. You can tell that so much work has gone into each one. And that's what I really, really like. Again, you get the customized things, you get the vinyl stickers that will last. They're not just cheap paper ones that are gonna like fade off or peel off. We have one of these pens. This looks pretty. This is a Karen marker. Oh no, it's a Karen. Let's hope it doesn't call the manager on us. So this is a Deco Brush metallic permanent marker. Shake well before use, store horizontally, cap after use, water-based, non-toxic, suitable for most surfaces, flexible brushed. Oh, it's flexible. It's got a flexible nib. I drew a little bit on my hand. I know that's bad and I shouldn't do that. Focus on my fist. Do you see? There. Next up in our little set, we have, oh, drop that, Le Pen. A Le Pen. Flex, made in Japan. They always have a lot of Japanese supplies in this box as well. It's tiny. Look how tiny that is. It's like the smallest nib I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm excited to see what that's like because I've never actually heard of Le Pen. It's in dusty pink, very nice. And lastly, bloody dropping everything. And lastly, in our little pen set, we have is this a mechanical? Oh, that is so nice. It looks like a ballpoint pen, but it's actually a mechanical pencil. This is nice because it's got a nice weight to it. I really, really like mechanical pencils that are made of metal, not plastic, because they have that nice weighted feel when you get a bit more control. This is by Zebra if you're not from America. A 0.7mm M350 MP pen. That is a nice mechanical pencil, very, very high quality. So I'm gonna total up the value of all of these items just to see what the actual value is. So the total value of this box is $61.48. For $39, you get $61 worth of value of products inside, which is pretty decent. Also, you obviously get the Art Snacks exclusive item like the bamboo paper, and that's one of the reasons that I do love this box so much, because you do get curated items that are either difficult to get hold of or they're items that are exclusive just to the art box, so you're getting things that you can't get anywhere else. Okay, so I get asked this question quite a lot. I'm not sure why. The question is, do you have a boyfriend? And someone has replied, she is married and you can see her husband in a few of her videos with a winky face. I'm not sure when I got married exactly, but apparently I did, and apparently he's in a lot of my videos. What are you most looking forward to when life is as closely back to normal as possible? I have certain people I need to hug. I can't get certain hugs, so I tend to wear clothes of said people that I can't hug right now. I would just love to live life just normally, like before all this. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, just to go into shops. I miss Target so much. I want to just be able to be like, you know, I just need to run into Target for something. let's go eat inside Red Robin. Let's go on a trip. For me, my family and I, we're not going to be doing anything, first and foremost, before all of us in the household are vaccinated. My mum is high risk, but I also do live with my family, and my dad is 60, and I have 2 brothers, and I want them to be safe too. So I'm certainly not going to be living any form of normal until my whole family is vaccinated. And obviously, even at that point, we're all going to be socially distancing, being careful until life is able to be more normal again. But yeah, I'm just kind of looking forward to being able to just do things again. Go on holiday, go to Disney. I do miss Disney a lot, but even if I had no risk, I would still not really want to go right now. Question, what did you do before YouTube? And if YouTube were to disappear, what would you do? What I did before YouTube was I was planning on going into something like web design. I was studying for my degree in computer science. I've said this many times over. A lot of you will know this already. But I really hated it. I really hated it so much. I was about to graduate within the next few months, and I just did not, I felt like the school I was going to was online. I was really not learning much, and I wasn't passionate enough about computer programming that I would want to do it outside of school. It just stressed me out so much. It was so much hard work with something that I didn't enjoy. Like if it's hard work and it's something you enjoy, that's entirely different. But if it's something you're not passionate about, it makes it incredibly painful and you end up just loathing it. So I actually ended up applying for a job locally to me that was like you would design fabrics and things like that, which was not remotely anything that I really wanted to do, but it was somewhat creative, and I thought, hey, I could do that, I suppose. And I told my mum that I had an interview for this job, and she said to me, look, your channel is just starting to go somewhere. I think that you should at least give it a little bit more time. And I'm obviously incredibly lucky and fortunate and privileged that I had the opportunity to have that option in the first place. You know, my parents were always very supportive. My mum in particular was incredibly supportive, and I know that that's not an option that a lot of people would have. So I do recognize that I was very fortunate to be able to have that time to put into YouTube. But it was from there basically that I was able to really grow my channel and turn it into what it is today. If YouTube was to disappear, this is something I think all YouTubers do fear to an extent, because obviously when you do something on a platform that you don't own, there is always that risk of what do you do if that platform's not there anymore. You know, if your job relies on Instagram, okay, what are you going to do if Instagram disappeared tomorrow? But for me personally, I find that this is why you have to have a lot of different outlets. This year in particular though, I'm really deep diving into some things outside of YouTube that I want to get into, and I can't really talk about it just yet, but I have some ideas that I'm really excited about and things that I would like to do. Crossing my fingers, if you want to stick around with me to find out, it's probably going to be within the next few months that you all find out a little bit more about that. What's your advice for those of us who love art and want to pursue it, but get so busy with other things that when time comes to sit down and create something, there's just a lack of motivation? So this is a great question, and this is something that I remember talking about a very long time ago. Now the thing about motivation is not always going to be there. It will not just naturally be there. It's something that can come and go easily. The only thing that is consistent is a habit, and that is why if you create a habit of something, that is something you have control over, and that is something that you can stick to. Easier said than done, I know, because I'm not very good at sticking to habits either, but if you are very serious about art, about getting better at it, about making it a career, you need to form a habit. Have a time every day that you're like, right, I'm going to do this. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm just going to draw something, even if it's simple. For me, if I lack motivation, or if I have like art block, I tend to go back to the things that I really enjoy the most, like drawing a simple cartoon or digital painting. Those are like the comfort foods of art for me. And not forcing yourself to create if you really don't feel like it, but if you can make a habit, have a set time aside. You know, if it was easy, everyone would do it, as they say. Are you doing online shopping, or you go in person to buy art supplies? No, I buy all of my art supplies online. I've not been into an art shop for over a year now, and I miss it a lot. I'm definitely going to be doing a vlog about the first time I'm back in an art store again one day. I'd like to know more about how you grew your art business / any advice about growing an art YouTube channel. For me, my art business is essentially about entertainment in art. Like, I don't have an art business, for example, where all of my income or all of my a good portion of my income relies solely on having an art business where I'm selling my art and that type of thing. I mean, obviously when I do sell my art, which is very infrequent by the way, it is a nice portion of income for me. But for me, mostly YouTube is my main thing. But I am branching out into that whole art business side of things as well. That's again what I'm working on this year. I'm very excited for it. But my best advice, honestly, would be to try out different social medias, because when I joined Instagram, it did not grow. It did not grow. It took a long time to get there. Like, it took me a year to get even up to, I think, 500 followers on Instagram. It was a platform that just didn't really grow for me, and it only grew once I started cross-promoting from YouTube to Instagram. So I highly recommend, if you are trying to grow a following somewhere or grow a YouTube channel, be consistent if you can. Look at what other people are doing, try and put your own spin on it, look at what's trending right now. YouTube is really not something easy to get into. It's not something you should ever go into with the sole goal of, I'm definitely going to make a job from this, because at the end of the day, it does involve a bit of luck. It also involves a lot of hard work, a lot of time, and you're also facing a lot of competition, but that doesn't mean that it is impossible. You just have to find your niche. Get started, find something that is unique to you, or at least something you can do that's popular in the community that you're in, and just try your best to put your own spin on it. Be yourself. Don't try too hard to be anybody else. Do not directly copy anybody. Following trends is totally fine, but if you see somebody doing something, don't take that exact same thing and do the exact same thing, if that makes sense. Like trends, for example, Mariah Elizabeth started a fun trend where she painted on a paint palette. I took that idea, credited her for it, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna paint on a paint palette now, but it's a different type of paint palette, and I'm gonna paint something totally different. On YouTube, there's not really such a thing as copying if you're following a trend, but if you are directly making the exact same video in the exact same format as somebody else, that is copying, and you're not going to stand out, and people are going to kind of realize that you're kind of copying other people. Don't do YouTube just for fame or just for money, because it's not something that at the end of the day is going to bring you joy in any way, shape or form. You need to do it because you are passionate about it, not because of what you can take from it. There are certain types of videos that I would like to make, but I know that won't perform that well on my channel, and as a result, I either try to balance them out and do videos that are partially what people want to see, partially what other people don't want to see. I get so many comments of people asking me to just make videos where just sit down and paint, just sit down and paint. But if I made a video titled Painting a Bear, I guarantee you that video will perform so badly, because unfortunately, as much as that would be fun for me and a lot of other people, it would heavily affect my channel with the algorithm that week and potentially going forward as well. And it's something that when it is your job, when it is part of your income, you do have to be kind of clever about how you go about things. Okay, so this question is, how do you make good prints of a physical acrylic painting? So basically, there are a few ways you can do this. I personally have a really, really good DSLR camera, which I know is something that a lot of people don't have, and that's okay. I've made prints by taking actual photos with my DSLR camera, and then I edit the colors in Photoshop. I kind of sharpen the image a little bit, change the colors around, make them as close as possible to the original image. And obviously it's a little bit difficult because a lot of the colors on the screen look different and they print different to how they are in person. So if you can print them yourself and you have a nice printer, the one I use is a Canon Pixma Pro 100. Bloody heavy, it's pretty expensive, but if you are able to kind of do small test prints of your art to see when the colors are most identical to your actual print, then that's the best way to go. But I also have a scanner, which I forgot what type of scanner it is. I'll put it here on the screen for you to see. But basically that is another good way to scan your original artwork, and then once again use a program like Photoshop to edit the colors around, do some test prints, see how they look. And all prints will come out different colors depending on the paper. So if you use a matte paper, the colors are going to be a lot more muted compared to a glossy paper that's going to be a lot more vibrant. I've actually begun outsourcing a lot of my prints to catprint.com because their quality is beautiful. For me, the ink is so expensive for my printer that when I do my prints of like 100 limited edition prints every few months or so, it costs me about $150 just in ink alone. And by the time it's all said and done, I'm probably spending about $200 just to have the prints made myself, whereas if I get those prints done at Catprint, it's not going to cost me that much. What's your favorite color? My favorite color is mint. I love mint. It is my absolute favorite color in the world. I also really love pale blue as well. Pale blue and mint. Do you have a schedule for your podcasts? When is the next one? This is something I've not been great at. I'm not very good at being very super scheduled with my podcasts. I know I need to be. If you don't know, I do have a podcast channel. I've interviewed the likes of Jazza, Mariah Elizabeth, Super Ray Dizzle, Amanda Rach Lee. I've spoken to Tom Bancroft. I've actually just done a podcast with Stuart Semple, which is a lot of fun. It's just called Spilling the Paint Water. And I'm probably going to end up closing out this season very soon. And then I'm going to get to a point where I'm doing season 2. And that's when I'm going to be a bit more regimented with my schedule for a podcast. Overall, usually my podcast will be up either on a Wednesday or a Friday. How do I not become depressed for art, being my only real talent, but there is someone else I know better? Okay, this one makes me so sad because the thing in life, there is always going to be somebody who is better at something. That is just the way of the world. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your talent or your skill set. There's just always going to be someone that's been doing it longer, that has had better tutorials or better classes, or someone that just naturally is just, there's always going to be someone out there who's better, who's richer, who's more famous. I am by no means anywhere close to the best artists in the world. I just do what I enjoy doing. I do stuff that I personally like. That's why it's really hard sometimes when there is a website forum that kind of bashes a lot of YouTube artists. And I remember a couple years ago seeing something where people were bashing some of my artwork. And it was really kind of difficult for me at the time because I was like, well, I'm still learning. I'm just kind of showing my process. I never said that I was this amazing artist or that I'm this great artist. I know exactly how to do this. This is just me showing my progress. I never put my art out there to be scrutinized because I was saying I was great at it. Joy comes from within you. If you really enjoy something, then that's wonderful. That's great. Do not ever let somebody else or someone else's progress with something ever make you feel bad about yourself, because especially when you look online these days, social media is a cesspit at times. You're looking at people's artwork and you're thinking, damn, they're so much better than me. They're showing you their very, very best. They're not showing you the struggles they've had behind the scenes. They're not showing you the hours and hours of work for struggles. That's why I do try on my videos sometimes to really show that, hey, this isn't the best art that I've ever made. I have made a lot of mistakes with this, but that's okay. I'm still going to upload it. Sometimes I'll make something that I really genuinely hate so much that I just scrap it completely, but that doesn't happen too often because I do like to be real, and I do like to just show you that it is normal to not like things that you make, that it is normal to make mistakes, that, artists aren't perfect in any means, so don't feel bad about it. Most people do have one talent, and that's okay. Some people are good at lots of things, but that doesn't mean that you should feel bad about yourself. It means that if you enjoy your artwork, what does it matter what everyone else thinks? There's people that aren't as good as you at artwork and look at you and think, wow, I wish I was as good as them, Just don't let other people make you feel bad about yourself. Stop comparing. It's easier said than done, I know, but try not to compare yourself because you're not seeing the full picture. My art teacher is making me hate art. What do I do? This is really, really sad because I know that this is a thing for a lot of people. My mum, for example, is incredible at drawing. She always has been. She's always had a knack for it. She's always had that creative flair. But her art teacher really put her down. And it really made my mum put off art for a while. And I sadly know and have heard this story so many times that art teachers either put you down, give you a bad grade, say you're never going to be an artist. This has happened to so many people. You honestly, this might sound bad, but try not to listen too much to negativity from your teachers because they are there to help you learn, to help you grow, to give you constructive criticism. But they're not there to just make you feel bad about yourself. They're there to help you get better. If they are not helping you to get better or to learn, then their opinion, in my opinion, is not valid. Nobody should make you feel bad about yourself. If it's just constructive criticism, then it can be kind of hurtful, I get that. But if your teacher is genuinely making you hate art, look at why that is happening. And maybe look to dropping out of that class if you can, or if you don't have that option, still make art that makes you happy outside of that class. Don't let her or him destroy that love for you, because if it is something you've always loved to do, don't let somebody else take that from you. How to have the courage to create art of what you love. Example, you draw bears instead of pretty girls, etc. So this is actually a very good question. I did get to a point on YouTube where I would create characters that were girls, like pretty girls, like that whole vibe in the art community that you find, like people drawing their own stylized characters. I was like, I really want to do that. Yeah, I want to do that. And then I'd do it and I wouldn't find much joy from it. I'd be like, okay. I kind of gave up a little bit in a sense, but I didn't find much enjoyment from it. I found more enjoyment making paintings of scenes, and that's what I decided to focus my energy on. Artists may be good at painting or drawing one thing, but it doesn't mean they're good at drawing or painting everything. Like animals, if I was to try and do an acrylic painting of like a big furry realistic animal, it would be a lot harder for me to do that versus doing a digital painting of someone's face. And someone that does furry animals as a painting would probably find drawing a face difficult because that's not what they focused on. So essentially, it took me a while to figure out that I did not enjoy drawing pretty girls. It was something that a lot of people did. I was like, well, they do it so much better than me. I don't really enjoy it that much. What am I doing this for? What's my purpose? I feel that I'm being made to do it because other people are doing it. And yeah, I want to work on proportions and things like that. But for me, making my own characters, and I love bears. I've always loved bears. My mum found a bunch of drawings that I'd made when I was a kid, and it was all bears. That's pretty much all it was. And I don't know, I just kind of got back into drawing bears, and I really enjoyed it. And it's something that I had the desire to actually make. I think it's just having that desire. Like if you're drawing something and it doesn't bring you joy, what are you bothering for? What's the point? If you're not enjoying it, don't bother doing it. Find something you do enjoy doing. Like for me, I enjoy drawing bears, so I have that desire to make them better, to learn about their anatomy, to make them better. I want to branch out into different animals, but making them more kind of animated style, you know? That's just something that I'm working on. A lot of you have been with me for a few years. You've watched me grow as an artist and learn new things and get better at some things, get worse at some things. That's just the journey that I've had on YouTube, and it's nice to look back sometimes and be like, hey, I can do better than that now, or hey, I have not drawn that since. Hello there, Editing Chloe here. I just wanted to let you know that I was sat answering 2 more questions and then I said goodbye and did all my outro stuff. And for some reason, when I went to edit it, it wasn't there. So I'm going to quickly do it now. And I'm not going to answer those questions purely because I didn't really answer them that great. There wasn't much to say about them, but I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this kind of content. I know it's not for everybody, but there is one question in particular I would like to answer, and it was the most liked comment, I think, on my community tab, and it was something along the lines of, do you feel you have to change your personality for videos? Something along those lines. And to an extent, yes. Everyone I know that does YouTube has to change their personality to an extent in regards to an online persona. Like in my videos, I'm still myself. I'm still me in real life, but I'm an extended version of that. I'm more confident and perhaps bubbly. Like I don't walk around in my day-to-day life like woo, woo, woo all the time. Like nobody can sustain that in day-to-day life. So basically me in videos is like me when I'm excited, or like it's just a more confident, upbeat version of myself, because obviously people on TV, when people on YouTube, you have to be entertaining to an extent. And if you're kind of just sat there like, hello, you know, this is what no one's going to be interested in watching that. So you do, to an extent, have to put on a bit more confidence, a bit more upbeatness. So no, you're not a different person online. You're just an extension and perhaps a slight change. Or it's hard to explain, but hopefully you know what I mean. But yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for your support. It really, really does mean a lot to me. I want to thank Art Snacks for sponsoring today's video and for offering the coupon code if you are interested in them, by the way. They're an incredible family-owned business and I cannot recommend them enough. But yes, thank you for watching this video. It means a lot to me. I hope that you're all doing well, and this year will hopefully bring lots of good news and joy and love to all of us. And yes, thank you so much for watching this video. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video.